Hello, fellow Robo Capitals. Hope you're well. We are back, and today we're talking about the top 3 things that you need to do before recording a YouTube video. And don't worry if you're a beginner or this is something you're new to trying this out for your business, because these hacks that we're going to go over right now is something that anybody can do. So, Josh, where do we want to start?
I think the first one has to be what to do
Audio.
with your camera or audio. Sure.
No, let's do audio first. And then at the end, guys, we're going to talk. The last tip we're going to give you is about editing, because we get a lot of these questions in the comments of our videos. And it's probably the hardest problem that you need to tackle even prior to recordings. But let's start with audio, because I think people overthink this quite a bit, Josh.
Absolutely.
And my point there is they use it as an excuse not to start. So they're like, oh, well, I can't really start producing videos until I have a fancy mic like George has, like this Shure mic, or then I have to have a mixer, and then I have to have this, and I have to have that. And in reality, you want good audio. That is absolutely true, but it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be professional level. It just has to not have a lot of echo. And Josh, are you even using a mic right now?
I'm using my laptop microphone. So the way that you reduce echo is sound cancellation pillows.
That's right. So Josh is in an Airbnb right now. And by the way, it's an Airbnb in Colombia. And why that's important is because the construction in Colombia is all tile and it's all concrete. So if you see that wall behind Josh, and I would imagine even the ceiling, that's concrete. That's
Yeah, so
not
I just took this off.
There you go.
And
Good job.
the audio is instantly unlistenable. You can't even listen to this. I can't even listen to myself speak.
Yeah. So if Josh was just beginning, or someone like Josh, or you're just setting up, YouTube channel for your business or growing your personal brand, this is a roadblock that people create for themselves that just doesn't exist. When all you have to do, you don't have to go on Amazon. Now, eventually, sure, you can do that. But in the interim, just a real quick hack is to take pillows and put it behind your laptop, or even better, a bed mattress. And that's going to take the audio from what it just was to, Josh.
It sounds like I have the same exact microphone as George, or not as good, but it sounds like I have a microphone.
Yeah, but it's the audio quality that Josh has right now isn't going to cost you any views. Like, no one's going to immediately click off your video just because the audio sounds like Josh and not like George. But if your audio sounds like Josh's did when he gave you that example, then people are likely going to click off that video. So the bottom line, the hack there is, you don't have to go out and spend a lot of money at the beginning. Just use what you have in the house. And typically that's just some extra pillows, or if you've got it, an extra bed mattress. Okay. Number 2, the second hack that we're going to talk about here is the video. So this is kind of along the same lines. When people, they think about doing, creating content or starting a YouTube channel, whether it's for the personal brand, growing your business, generating leads, etc. They think they need to go out there and spend like $8,000 on a 4K camera and all this special equipment. And in reality, that is complete nonsense. In fact, I'm recording right now just on my laptop webcam. I don't even have a special webcam. And I do in the back. I've actually got a lot of them. I've got these fancy webcams that like follow you. And it's like Big Brother webcam. It's kind of creepy, but I've got those. I've got the 4K stuff. I've got the high-end cameras. And honestly, none of them work as well as just this. And it's 1080p. You don't have to have 4K. That's total fake news, that you have to have like a 4K camera in order to shoot a video like this. Josh, what do you think?
Yeah. Something that you do want is good lighting. And so I don't have any fancy lighting setup, but if I just moved around and I did the video with that light away from me, this is instantly a way less watchable video. So you just want to make sure that you have the lighting on your face to where it's an easier transition for the viewer. That's really the only thing you need to think about.
And what you just highlighted there is natural light from a window is perfect. So what you just did
George
is
has the fancy lights behind him, but
Yeah.
our lighting is you can't really tell the difference. I just close all my blinds. I have the natural light on me, and we look the exact same. We sound pretty similar too.
Yeah, it's just my background's a little fancier, but as far as how our face is lit up, I would argue your face is probably lit up better than mine is. I guess the point there is you don't have to have all these and even the fancy lights that I do that I'm looking at, which I can turn around here and show everyone. I've got three of those, but those are just like Chinese lights
Yeah.
that I paid. I don't even know what I paid for that. Like maybe $50. Maybe. And I've got three of those. And now with the background, with the LEDs that I put in there, like right here, then it gets a little expensive and, you know, a little fancy. But you don't have to do that. You don't need lights at all, but you need good lighting. And you
Yeah,
can
I
get
do have
good
proof of
lighting
that too,
just from a
George.
window.
So one of the guys that I work with is Ken McElroy. And last year I flew out to Arizona because that's where he resides and started to help him out. And I went to his office and you walk in and he is this literally, he spent $250,000 on a studio because that's
Yeah.
just what Ken does.
I've shot in that studio. I know
Yeah.
exactly
And so
where
it's
it is.
super, super nice. And with his studio, they were doing around 200,000 views per month, which is exceptional. He grew this
Per
large
month,
brand per
guys,
month. Yeah.
200,000 per month.
And then I come in and I'm just like, I can, that studio doesn't really matter. How about I just drive in the car with you and we'll just do some videos. And I shot with my phone without audio. I didn't even have a microphone. I was just too unprofessional. And so I would have to clear the storage on my phone before every single recording because I'd run out of gigabytes. And then his views went from 200,000 to 2 million views per month because it's not about the audio and visual. It's about the content. As long as you have the basics down, it doesn't really matter if you're following the principles of starting with a good idea, having good structured video, having decent lighting, having decent visuals, and then just making a good video with good thumbnail and title. And that's all you need to do to grow on YouTube.
Yeah. And the punchline there is those basics that you just talked about are a couple pillows and a window.
Yeah. And your cell phone.
That's it. All right. Now let's move on to number 3 hack. And this is probably the most important. And it's definitely the most challenging. You know, getting a couple pillows in a window, that anyone can do that. But when it comes to the editing, this is where it gets difficult. So, Josh, what are your tips there? What have you done? And then I'll explain what I did when I first got started.
Yeah, I mean, I learned everything from you, and so whatever you say is definitely going to be more intelligent. But
Well said. Well said.
I do have some really good AI tools that people can use that I'll share my screen and show you, and then George will explain the psychology of editing. But this entire AI stack that I'm going to show you is under $100 per month to do.
Huh, okay, so this is Pixel, and it's spelled Pikzels. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
That is correct.
And so if I'm at this page and I've never used this before, how do I even, is it just like AI? It's like ChatGPT where you just put in a prompt? Is that
exactly like AI? So you give it a prompt on any thumbnail that you want, and then you can
put
even
in a picture of Kenny first?
Yeah, so you can train people. So if I put in 20 pictures of Ken, then it now has Ken trained, and it will be able to remake anything of Ken.
Okay,
And
so you
all you
uploaded
have to
20 pictures of Kenny.
Yep. And now you can make anything. And sometimes I'll still change it to an original picture of him, but it's very hard to tell most of the time if it's AI or not. But this allows you to disregard thumbnail designers. The most important part of a thumbnail is the idea behind it. And now this has democratized thumbnails. I used to spend, I mean, hundreds, quite literally $2,000 plus per month just on thumbnails. Now it's $50 per month. The next is going to be edit long form videos. You can edit the entirety of the video that me and George are making right now, and it would take out every single filler word. It would take out any any pause instantly from descript.com.
And just to be clear, that's descript.com. Now, is this the one? So it takes out any uhs or pauses, but does it have the capability of generating BRoll and adding that?
No, that's going to be the next AI. But what this
Okay.
does, you can also fix eye contact to where if let's say you're reading from a script, let's say right
Yeah.
now I was reading from a script, it would make it to where it looks like I'm looking at the camera the entire time, which
Yeah.
is super important and powerful. So we use this for because I script out the videos for all of my clients to make it look non-scripted.
Yeah,
Then
I've used that. I've used that and it didn't work that well for me. Now, that said, I tried it about 2 months ago, and what we have to realize is this stuff is changing so quickly that it could be like 10 times better now than it was a couple months ago. But a couple months ago, it just looked a little weird. I mean, my eyes were looking at it, but it was just something was off.
yeah. Yeah, and so you can actually adjust the setting as well to where it's not 100% eyes fully open looking at it,
Yeah, yeah,
which
yeah.
does look super creepy. And so you can lower the tone and just have it to where you have a teleprompter, which like my clients do, or you can actually use a teleprompter on your screen, which is
Okay.
acting as the same thing, and then it adjusts very well. Then the
Okay.
third one is everyone says that you need a massive team to do like shorts and you have to hire like a full agency for editing. This
Right.
is an all-in-one at a YouTube Shorts editing agency for $50 to $100 per month or whatever it is. And so this will cut every single video into short 60 to 60-second and less punchy clips rated by how viral they think it will go. So it will literally edit, add B-roll and subtitles to every single long form video
Mhm.
instantly right when you upload, and you'll get 20 clips. So let me go to this.
And
This
this is
video,
AI.
this is 100% AI. So
Okay.
each of these videos, it's telling you how well it thinks it's going to do. It's repurposing hooks. You can add B-roll, and then you can auto post to every single short form media, to Instagram, to TikTok,
Wow.
to everything instantly with zero effort. So I don't even have to do anything. I could watch this video and I
But
could have it.
that is really Kenny though, right? That's
This
not
is
AI Kenny?
Yeah, we took this from Ken's long form video, which it gets automatically uploaded the second we upload a video to this platform.
Right. So he's using this on Instagram, TikTok, etcetera, or
Yeah.
YouTube Shorts.
So this full agency model would have costed $4,000 to $5,000 per month just to do these basic things. And now it's under $100 per month for all editing, for all short form, for all thumbnails.
Yeah, that's a great point. So now what's the one where you can add B-roll? The AI app where you can
It's
add
the
B-roll to the
Opus.
edit?
It's the short clips that it will add B-roll to, but we don't use it because the B-roll isn't great, which fortunately we put so much B-roll in the videos when it cuts it up, it's already filled with B-roll. But that's the importance of how to structure editing for B-roll, which you're going to explain now.
Well, I don't know if I can. That's probably too lengthy a topic for this video, but the idea is you want to have cuts or edits, not just for the sake of taking out the pauses, the ums, any filler words, but more so to keep people's attention. Because if it's just too, Josh and I just talking back and forth here, that's not going to keep people's attention, even if the content is really good. What will improve the retention rate is if we have cuts so things are flashing up on the screen, but you don't want to edit just to edit. You want to edit with a purpose. This is what I always tell my editors. So, as an example, if you're watching a George Gammon whiteboard video, you see that we have charts popping up, we have all these things, but every B-roll object we have pop up or cut that we do is going to be very relevant and hopefully add to what I'm saying to make the content not just more digestible, more understandable, but also to increase that engagement. So that's kind of the idea behind this. Now, what Josh is saying is there are AI apps right now that will edit and will plug in B-roll and AI generated B-roll, by the way, based on what you're saying, but they're not great yet, meaning that they're editing, but they're not editing with a purpose.
Yeah.
And therefore, I don't think it adds really any value. But you have to realize that's where we are right now. I can almost assure you within a year or a year and a half, the AI will be able to add B-roll in a way that's extremely effective. So what I'll be able to do is I'll be able to take my whiteboard videos and I'll be able to upload, let's say 20 of my whiteboard videos. And then I'll be able to take the raw footage from the next whiteboard video I do, plug that into the AI, and then say, hey, I want you to turn this raw footage into a polished, finished whiteboard video, and I want you to edit it the exact same way that the 20 videos that I uploaded were edited. And it's going to get to the point, I think, very soon where it'll do a very good job of that. So all you'll have to do is get some editors to edit, 4 or 5 of your videos well in a way that you like, and then hopefully the AI will be able to take the ball and just kind of run with it. We have to realize that where AI is right now is the worst it's ever going to be. It's never going to be worse than it is right now. It's only going to get better and very, very quickly. So this is really exciting because now let's go back to the story of when I first started. Most people know that the genesis of my first YouTube channel was a TV show that I actually produced in Colombia. It was called Vida en Remodelación, and which is the remodeling life. So this was very similar to an HGTV show that you'd see in the United States, and it was following me, my architect Joaquin, and then it was like a GC, and then my designer Angie. They're a husband and wife team, and it would follow us around to all the projects that I had, and it would just show the before and after and the whole process of us taking something that was very ugly and turning it into something that was amazing. You guys have all seen these shows a million times, I'm sure. So I was the producer, I was the executive producer, I was the director, and I was in the show. I actually owned it, believe it or not. And so when we got done with season 1, I had all these great editors and camera people, and I wanted to keep them working. So we started the YouTube channel. That's how it all started. And what happened is the YouTube channel blew up so quickly that I had to make a decision as to whether or not I wanted to focus on YouTube or go back to doing just normal television. And I chose to stick with YouTube. But back in the day, when I first started with the whiteboard videos, I had, I think, 5 editors because I was doing a whiteboard video every day. And the whiteboard videos, as far as the editing and shooting, is incredibly labor intensive, incredibly labor intensive. So we would need 5 editors to get, if I shot in the morning, to get that video out that evening, you need that many people working on it. And then we refined the process and refined the process to now I don't need that many editors working on the whiteboard videos themselves. But what we've done more recently is we've started to transition into using generative AI for B-roll itself to make our edits, even the edits the editors are doing, even better. And so if you guys have watched any of my recent whiteboard videos, if you guys want to do that, you can just go to George Gammon, the YouTube channel, if you don't follow me there. And just as an example, watch the last couple whiteboard videos, the very first 5 seconds. And what you'll see is this blonde newscaster come out and say something that really grabs people's attention. And it's like a short, let's say 5-second, 8-second clip. And then you go right into me in front of the whiteboard. And that's all AI. It's all AI. And so I can basically create a scene and make the newscaster say whatever I want them to in order to engage that audience for the hook, which the first 30 seconds of the video is by far the most important. So I guess the main takeaway here is back when I was doing this, back in the good old days, you would need a team of at least 1 or 2 editors if you wanted to do, content, let's say 3 or 4 videos per week. But now you really don't even need anyone. Just get good at prompting and good at using the apps that Josh just went over. And then if you do want to have some really high level editing, just maybe get 1 editor, and you can do that on Upwork or something like that. And then just realize that within a year or 2, you're probably going to be able to delegate what that editor is doing to AI as well to have the complete package to where it's just you and your AI prompts.
Yeah, so with the AI stack that I gave you guys, it's not replacing the editing team, but it made my editing team 50% cheaper. And that's substantial, which
But why
because that
did it
was
make it cheaper, Josh?
because we got to take out the low leverage editors that would have to cut the videos up and made them quicker. So now we're producing more videos and cheaper because we could replace a super expensive team with a much cheaper team because we could give them way more material up front without them having to do as much work. So it took the turnaround time from them having to spend 72 hours on a video to under 40 hours per video, and it made the video better.
Yeah, right. Okay, got it. And so I think the main takeaway here, guys, for those of you who are just starting, is to produce videos just like Josh and I are doing right now. You can do that completely with AI, totally and completely with AI. And if you really want to get fancy, you can hire an editor on Upwork to do some of the videos. But within a year's time, you're going to be able to produce high level edited videos that really engage an audience just strictly through AI, as long as, here's the catch, as long as you understand the psychology behind the editing and why it works. That even with AI, we're never going to get around the humans having to understand why this works. So we'll talk about the psychology of edits more as we go throughout the rest of these videos on this channel.
You actually just did a video, George, breaking down one of the old reality TV shows that you used to study to explain the editing psychology. So if you're not really sure what to do, just watch that video next, and I think it will make a lot more sense.
Yeah, we'll just put it up on the screen. Where, Josh? Right here?
That's sure.
Okay, click on this video, guys.